Hello again, my friends! And you are my friends. Welcome back to another episode of Craft Time, where every week we make a different fun, family-friendly craft using things that you might already have in your house. This week, in order to celebrate that St. Patrick's Day is coming up, we are going to be making these very fun leprechaun hats. So, the things that you will need for this project. You need one toilet paper roll, some tape. You can use whatever kind of tape you have in your house. So Scotch tape or double-sided tape or this random blue tape that I have in my house. You'll need some green construction paper, some yellow construction paper, and some black construction paper, as well as some scissors. So if you don't have those things in front of you, go grab them, put me on pause, and I will be waiting for you when you come back. Excellent. Let's get started. So the first thing that you need to do to make your leprechaun hat is you need to take your green piece of construction paper and cut out a piece that is about the same size as your toilet paper roll, maybe a little bit longer. So when we stick this on and wrap it around, it's okay that it's longer, that it overlaps, but we don't want it to be shorter. So we don't want the toilet paper roll to show. Make sense? So take your scissors, cut out the piece, and then we are going to tape it on. So the first thing I'm going to do is I've taken my blue tape and I've put it into little rolls like this. So for example, take the tape, roll it over. If you're just using regular clear Scotch tape, you don't need to do this part. You can just tape it on because nobody's going to see it anyway. But I have this silly blue tape. So I'm going to line the edge of my piece of construction paper with this tape. And I'm going to use quite a bit because I don't want it to get unstuck. You can also use glue if you want. It's just a little bit messier. And then I'm going to stick this on. See what I'm doing here? And then just wrap it all the way around. Try to line it up as much as possible so that your toilet paper roll isn't showing. So I have to do a little bit of a readjustment on my part. Wrap it around. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Line it with tape. And stick it down. And voila, magic, we have a green toilet paper roll now. It's been transformed. Awesome. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to make this little black strip for our hat. So you're just going to take your black construction paper and you will cut out a strip, whatever size you want it to be. So on my example, I made my strip pretty fat, but I've decided that this time I'm going to cut it just a little bit more thin. If you cut it a little thinner, you're just going to want to put it up a little higher on the hat. So see how this fat one I put pretty low down. Here, with my thin one, I'm going to put it slightly higher, and you'll see why in a second. So I'll decide where I want it, and then same thing. I take my tape, take my other piece of tape, and I'm going to wrap it around. One side down. Oop, I told you to put it higher and then I didn't. And see, you can see where the back is, so I'm going to try to line this up with the back. Do, 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 do. Amazing. What do you think is next? Next, we're going to make our gold trim. So what I've done is I have taken my yellow piece of construction paper and I have cut out a square. Doesn't have to be perfect. Mine definitely isn't. Mine is more of a parallelogram, I think. So I have my little square, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it in half, and I'm going to cut an even smaller square out of this square. See how this one is open? We want to be able to show the black strip. So I'm going to be very, very careful. I'm going to cut along the folded part. Not going to go all the way through. So if I do, I'll just get another piece and it'll be totally fine. We all make mistakes. I'm going to cut out a little square on that side. Pacha! Bye-bye. And here we have it. So I'm going to now just tape it on. And see, if we had put this black strip too far down, it would have been a little wonky, which is why when it's skinnier, you want it to be up a little higher. So once again, I'm going to take my tape, get a nice little piece, fold it over, and I'm going to put a piece up on this corner, and I'm going to put a piece in this lower corner. You probably don't need tape all the way around. And again, if you're using Scotch tape, just stick it right on the front. Nobody's going to see it anyway because it's clear. I have a little string hanging off of this weird tape. There we go. I'm just going to hide that string. And stick it on. We are almost done, my friends. Awesome. Looking so good. So the very last thing we're going to do is we need the brim of the hat. So I'm going to take another piece of green construction paper, a little bit smaller, and I'm going to use my tape to trace. But you can also just eyeball it. But I want to get that nice, really round, round circle. And I told you that we didn't need any other things, so I don't have a pen or anything. So I'm just gonna cut this out just like this. Again, we're trying to just use things that we already have in our houses. So if you want to make sure that you have a nice round circle, grab whatever you have around you that is round. You might have like something that you're drinking or a vase, whatever you have, or eyeball it. I don't think my circle is going to be perfect, but that's okay. There we go. It looks pretty good, huh? And we're going to stick it down just like this. So in order to stick it down, this can be a little bit tricky. I'm going to take a piece of my tape, and on the inside, I'm going to stick it here, and I'm going to fold it down like this. And I'm going to do, I think I'm going to use 3 pieces, so it'll be nice and sticky. 1, 2, and 3. That first piece might be a little bit long, so I'm just going to trim it. Just to shorten it a little bit. Good. And then when we fold them down like this, make them flat pieces of tape. And then we're just gonna stick it right on. Doo-doo-doo. Very nice. And sometimes, like if you look down in here, I don't know if you can see, it is still poking up a little bit. My finger is not quite long enough to reach to just like push it down. So I'm going to use my scissors. I'm just going to reach in there and just flatten those pieces. Make sure that they're nice and flush with the bottom of the hat. And there you have it, a mini leprechaun hat. So you can display these in your house to celebrate. You can put them on your dogs. You could attach a string if you wanted, wrap it around your chin, and then you have your own little mini leprechaun hat, whatever you want. But I'm sure feeling festive. I hope you are too. Thank you as always for joining me, and I can't wait to see you again next week for another fun, family-friendly craft time. Thanks, friends.